Hey, what's going on, Danny? How you doing?
Very well. Did you reach out to them at all?
No, I didn't. Actually, I just saw your text and I actually just saw the email just a minute ago. No, but I hadn't reached out to them. No.
Because last week she emailed and asked for a application.
Hmm.
She wanted to see all of your credit information, everything else. You know how I do with that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
really? We don't
Yeah.
fill out credit applications for leases.
Hmm.
That's really an insult. Hey, you're the one that's trying to run a small business in this laundromat. And before they're going to show you the lease, they're going to ask you to show your profit and loss statements of previous businesses, how many assets you have, what you have in the bank. It's just an insult. So we ignored that. I'm just making sure that you didn't end run me and talk to her in any way. Did you?
No, no. Like I
Good.
said, once I had hit you back, once I had made it back, to the states. Now I was telling you if it was okay. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Answered.
I
No.
yeah. No, no, I didn't.
And
No, I was waiting on you. Yeah.
of
Hmm.
course, which is what we do. Waiting is often the
Right.
hardest part. Now,
Yeah.
looking at this lease they've prepared, they have you as the guarantor. That's all great. And I know what I think about this lease. You tell me, what are you seeing in this lease?
Well, I haven't had a chance to really go over it good. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what she redlined and all that kind of stuff. I don't really know. I have to go back over it right now, but I know they're asking for what $5,000 or something like
Yeah, they
that.
want a $5,000 security deposit,
Hmm. And
and they
then
want the
but
first 2 months rent. Basically, they want you to come with a $10,000 check. And she also emailed and asked a question, something about the existing equipment. So
mhm.
if you're ready, we just call her up. All this lease is standard. Normally, at this point, my student will ask, "Do I need a lawyer?"
Mhm.
Now, as a lease consultant, of course you need a lawyer, right? I can't tell you to sign a legal and binding document without a lawyer. As your friend, I'm going to say you don't need a lawyer for this. An attorney is
Mhm.
going to charge you probably $5,000. And I can also tell you a personal story. The second free laundromat I ever scooped up, I had this cute little Korean landlady, and she handed me a 5-page, essentially handwritten lease. Half of it was on a cocktail napkin, I swear. And I handed it to my attorney, and he went through it and came back with a 25-page lease.
Uh-huh.
She and I met at the bank to sign the lease and the paperwork and everything else. And she said, I know, sign this. I don't understand. So I excused myself. I went in the parking lot and I called my attorney and I said, she won't sign it. Oh, she wants to sign that horrible 5-page lease? Great, do that.
Mhm.
I'm like, wait a minute. Why did I pay you $5,000 to draft this lease? He says, less is more. Oh, if that's the lease that she wants, then do that. Lesson learned for
Mhm.
me, anyway. If the
Mhm.
landlord hands you a 5-page lease, sign it. If they hand you a 75-page lease, you better read it because that's
Right.
rare. In this
Mhm.
case, the first thing I look at is the pages. This is a 17-page lease. Less is more. This is
Mhm.
average. But you can't blame them for asking for a security deposit. They always do.
Right.
Always.
Okay.
And you know how many of my students pay it?
I haven't seen none from anything I've seen from you. I haven't seen any of them pay anything. Yeah.
No, you're not going to pay lease deposit. And that's fine. It might be more of a game. There's always an out. She's not the decision maker. Let's just call Jacqueline. What other questions do you have at this point?
One of the questions I was, well, who's responsible to get rid of that existing equipment that's already there?
You
Because they
want the
already
existing equipment.
you asking me or you telling me?
You want it, I'm telling you. You don't want
Oh,
that equipment gone. Who's going to pull it out? You? Yes. If someone else takes the equipment out, they will likely destroy the infrastructure.
Uh-huh.
Then they're going to see what? Gas, water, electric. Water pipes are copper. They'll start cutting them out. It's not the landlord who's going to go in there with his bare hands and take out all the infrastructure.
Uh-huh.
It's someone that they hire. And in lieu of payment, hey, look at all this copper. Let's take it out. If you demolish a Starbucks, you end up with a little tiny stub of copper about this big behind the coffee machine. Not going to get you much in scrap. With a laundromat, we've got 2-inch copper piping come off the city side, hot and cold. Snakes throughout the store, ends up at every washer and dryer to 1/4-inch valve. That might be $6, $7, $8, $10, $12,000, depending on the size of the store, in scrap. We don't want them touching it. Now you're thinking about getting your hands dirty. This is work that you want to be doing. Anything else?
No, that was pretty much it there. Yeah, that's what we was going to do with that, is just an equipment for the most part. Yeah. Anything else that I'm missing that I should be concerned with?
Let's call Jackie.
Okay.
This is Jackie.
Jackie, Danny D.
Hi, how are you?
Never felt better, never had more. We have the lease. You had a question for me in reference to the equipment?
Yes, sir. We have a guy, a tenant in the shopping center, and he had thought that he was going to lease the space, that he's really not qualified to lease it. He doesn't have any experience in the business, but he's gone in and just thinking that, being naive, just went ahead and I guess repaired some of those washing machines. He's, hired somebody to fix them. So the question was, are there any that you might not want? We were just thinking we could give them to this guy and help him get some of his money back, if there was something that you didn't want.
Sure. Let's back up. First of all, sorry to hear that. I hate when there's a straw purchase or we find out that another tenant has some
just
type
was
of
very naive.
Sure, of course. Delusional.
He went with the maintenance guy and they just went on their own and did it.
I understand.
Which most people would do that.
Well, it's another tenant, and good for you because you want to keep that good faith. We will be able to pick and choose what the equipment, when the equipment needs to go, and we don't mind working with that guy. This equipment is junk. When these laundromats have been wrung out, we're after infrastructure. That's what we are always after. But my fear is, it's in our letter of intent. We're very clear that we're after that infrastructure. And if someone starts pulling equipment out ahead of our work, they usually start cutting the copper out of the walls, and we don't want that.
That's why I'm calling you first before we do let anybody do a thing. I wouldn't do that to you.
Right. No, it's hard to say. Once my people go through that equipment, I love analogies. Let me say this. You have a 1957 Chevy with 13 coats of lacquer paint on it. When the transmission goes bad, you don't scrap it. You keep it. You fix the transmission. A 1987 Toyota Corolla, not so much. It's time to get a new car when that transmission goes bad. Believe it or not, there are 57 Chevys in the laundromat industry. There's good equipment that will have a long, not only physical life, just about anybody can keep these machines running, but a fiscal life. They need to earn money. That's why they're there. So we'll be able to pick and choose. We can talk to the guy. We can discuss what happens with him. But as far as that goes, there's no value here. And even if he's going to pull the equipment, where's he going to put it? In his garage?
No. What the owner was thinking is that when you decided you didn't want it, if you pulled it, we could let him have it. He wasn't going to let him go in and do anything.
Deal. That's fine. Anything that we don't want, he can have. Because I have a scrap guy that comes out and it's almost zero scrap value. Again, another analogy, you have scrap value for copper, it's high. You have scrap value for wire, it's fairly low because they have to strip it. There's work that has to be done. And the scrap value on a vehicle versus washers and dryers, there's very little. All of the steel is covered. All of the wiring is hard to get to. So there's not much scrap value. Yeah, I don't have
You
a
probably
problem.
almost have to pay him to come haul it off, I would imagine.
There you go. So I don't have a problem at
Yeah.
all
Okay.
with
All right.
dealing.
Well,
And,
I
and
like
he's
to
a
be
neighbor.
upfront with
Which
people,
business is it?
and yeah, I'm not really sure. The owner just called me and asked me. He said it was an existing tenant, and I didn't ask which one it was.
Okay.
But my owner's a very nice guy. He says, I just hate to see him spend money and not get something back. He's just a real nice man, my owner.
No, I understand. They're looking to do a straw purchase on the business, and this guy, we don't have to keep talking about it. I don't have a problem at all. I'll have Bryant connect with him, and anything that we are going to scrap is all his.
We appreciate it. Okay. All right. I sent you the lease. It's a
the
real
lease
good
itself,
form, AIR form.
right? We don't. We're looking at the draft, and we don't. The only thing we want you to change is to scratch the lease deposit. We're looking at a 15-year term and hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment that we're going to be placing in this service center. So to us, red line the lease deposits, and we're good to go.
Okay. You don't want to put any money down? I mean, not
of course
pay.
Not.
Well,
you want us to come to the table with it. Yeah, I get that. They want us. We never discussed this because
no, we didn't. It wasn't in the contract.
Some of the leases that I have across my desk, I can tell you I've seen $50,000 lease deposits in Los Angeles County, and we turn those to zero because we're looking to spend every dime not on buckets and mops, but on brand new equipment in this spot. I know it's not a decision you can make, but we can come out and sign this thing. I don't see anything else that is at issue with this. It's a lovely 17 pages. We've gone through it and lined through that, and we're good to go.
So no, you don't want to pay anything upon signing?
No.
Okay.
It's not a slap in the face,
sure
having us come in and say, I own commercial property, so I understand what a lease deposit is. If and when we fail, you're able to recoup the cost and use that ammunition against us. I don't blame you, but line through it and we're good.
I'll talk to my owner and see what he says. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding.
Of course.
Because I had said you'd pay 1 month's rent and cans and a security deposit in the same amount. And you're saying you don't want to pay any rent and cans or any security deposit? Neither.
How many months of free rent are you providing us?
12.
Right. So logically, what we're looking at, and we appreciate it, we've gone back and forth on this, we're getting a year free rent. So asking for us to come in with cams and first and last and et cetera, so on. We want to get to work spending money on us. We want to get to work spending money on equipment as soon as we can.
And I can understand that, and I think I could probably get him to comfortably waive paying rent a year in advance, but I think he would like some sort of security deposit, if you could see your way to do that.
Well, what I'm saying is none, because I've never paid it. Our security comes in the form of brand new equipment. We're back to square one, day one. When we first spoke, we said, look, you've got choices. You can vanilla this space, you can hand it to that other straw purchase tenant, or you can have a good, strong operator come in and pay rent. You're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent over the next 15 years. That's us. Just let me know. Send me a text.
Well, I will call him and talk to him about it. I still haven't gotten any backup documents on your company or anything like that. You're going to provide that, correct?
Of course.
Okay. All right.
Again, you know me and my analogies, Jackie. I see that as, if I step on a car lot, I don't have to be wearing a Rolex or have brand new shoes or roll in there in a Ferrari. Asking for our profit and loss statements or previous tax records before having a lease deal, to me, just doesn't make sense. We're looking to spend the money.
I mean, if obviously I have done my homework and checked your company out as much as I could.
Sure.
And I'm comfortable with it, but my owner likes to have that for his records. That's all.
I get it. We're inches away. Let us know.
All right, I will.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you.
How was that?
Sound like they ready to do business. Yeah, yeah.
I've done this so many times. The roller coaster is always the same. Still scary, but it's always the same. She wants us to fill out profit and loss statements, and they want to crawl up your ass and find out what assets you have. That's insulting.
Mm-hmm. So,
and then they're going to give you 12 months of free rent, but they want you to come to the table with a $10,000 check so that they can have ammunition to sue you if you can't perform. Nah.
Did you see where they changed it from 10 years to 11 years? So that was telling me that they were trying to get the 1 year of free rent back by adding an additional year.
That's fine. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. That
so what
they're taking the term from 10 years to 11.
Yeah.
In order to give themselves some tax benefit, I guarantee it. And what does that matter to you? It doesn't matter to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a joke.
So now what are we going to do about the actual documents that they're requirement? Because, I don't really have that in place right now. You just told them that we would be sending that to them, or we just don't have no.
They're not documents. There is no document. I personally own hundreds of acres of property. I have a penthouse condo paid off in Mexico. There's no documents to any of that. If you want to know what my net worth is, I can snap off a number. That doesn't mean anything. Okay. But I can also create that document. If you've never had an LLC, if you've never owned a small business, if you've never had a brick and mortar, this is why people fail, because they're clueless as to how all of this works. If you have a Harley Davidson in your garage worth $10,000, that's an asset. If your home is paid off, that's an asset. If you have liquid cash in the bank, those are assets. Trying to get a point here. None of this is provable or disprovable. Mm-hmm. This is private money. So you put together a P&L statement, of course, you're doing very well. We know that. You just got back from Mexico, didn't you?
I did.
Did you buy a necklace? There, that goes on your profit side of P&Ls. Mm-hmm. The landlord wants you more than you want them every time. Mm-hmm. I'll let you know when I hear back. She'll probably text me here in 10 minutes.
I got you. All right. Thank you.
Cheers. It's what the Danny do. Another free laundromat. Bryant's next step, bring in the distributors on the back of this lease. Hey, silly, I'm not thinking about maybe, might, someday, perhaps get into the laundry business. I own one. Now give me the right price for the equipment. Defer payments so I can earn. This industry is not really on the side of the consumer. It's just not. They want to sell equipment, just like Lowe's or Home Depot or Best Buy. What you want to do is earn money with that equipment. Be a shark, not a sheep. I'll help you.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.